This is my hard read for the mechanism and what the mechanism is.
Okay.
So I'm gonna go back to the one page so I can just read it aloud, right? I prefer the word mechanism over system because it's similar to an ecosystem. So mechanisms are this thing that are essentially created, right? And Hawaii as a setting is a place that is constantly being created by volcanoes, which is why the first page of the entire series is a volcano. The JoJo, right, is creating mechanism. Therefore, similar to Hawaii, which is creating lands, he is creating the JOJOLands, right? That's what I'm thinking.
Holy shit!
Yeah.
This is all you? You just like you've been, bro. Guys, go sub to this, man.
Cooking.
How are you out? You need more JoJo fans sub to your channel, bro. That's such a sick analysis. Wait, so you're telling me? Wait, the setting is that it goes that deep, bro? That makes so much sense. That makes so much sense.
The Hawaii setting, I think, is so intentional because Hawaii has one of the biggest wealth gaps in the entire world. It is one of the biggest wealth gaps in the entire world.
Oh, that makes sense too. Yeah,
are constantly going all the time, which is why I think immediately we're starting with this dingy underpass with all the criminals, and then we're getting to see a really rich person in a villa. We're gonna see the wealth gap essentially at the highest level.
The jump from being like a street criminal, like not even just a street criminal, but like a low level one, like just a gopher. He's gonna go from being the gopher street criminal to being like a super hyper rich. Like that's like the jump. That's, oh man, and that makes so much sense because of the wealth disparity. Wow. Guys, Kev's cooking. I don't know about you. I'm being mind blown. I didn't even put a lot of this together while I was reading the chapter. And that's some stuff I think you just need that outside context to understand what Araki was going for. I was going on the vacation thing, and like that's why he chose the location, just to kind of parallel part 5's more like...
Oh, I think that might happen as well. Like imagine, hear me out. Imagine if there is a Higashikata there, and the person they steal from isn't... like one of them.
Yasuo.
Yasuo Hirose. Bro, it would be so perfect, bro.
The whole thing of him like doing the pose, like the fucking,
literally, I was like, I had to send that.
He's like posing with all the chicks. He's like, yeah, he's there. That's the most ridiculous thing. I gotta be honest. If he's carrying through the entire part with that energy, he might be my favorite JoJo. I think every character is like, in some way, they're hitting. And for me, it's like Jodio as a protagonist is such an asshole that I want him to I want this sort of unique personality to maintain through the part. I do not want him to have like some sort of goody two shoes like shift. I would love if he has this attitude from start to finish, and maybe he just ends up playing more of an anti-hero role where it's like, he's like Giorno in a way, where Giorno is like, he is a gangster still, he is a murderer still, he is running a mafia organization, and he's like beating the crap out of people. I almost want Jodio to be the same, where by the end of the part he's still kind of like a prick, but you love him, so yeah,
he's like a lovable little scam.
Yeah.
He just so happens to deal coke and stuff. Yeah, he's just a little lovable scam.
You've made some predictions. The November Rain one came true.
The Giorno one came true. I'm pretty sold.
And the Giorno one, I am 1,000,000% sold on. I buy that. Okay, and then rocks. Okay, so the Rock Human Hermes too.
Yeah, that's what I thought. I'm really on the trend that we're getting a Rock Human in the main cast, which I think is Paco at this point. Because I thought Dragona, the Dragona character, before I keep saying like, oh, the female lead's gonna be the Rock Human. Because Hermes, do you remember at the end of JoJolian, in the craziest chapter of JoJolian, I would say, 99, where we saw Toru get birthed from bees.
Yeah.
JoJolian readers.
Do you think Jodio has some direct tie to Diego?
I think so.
You do?
I think so. There has to be a reason the dad is out of the picture, but they're like, oh, we don't know our dad really well. But it's like, that's gotta be brought up eventually, right? It's like, they're not just gonna, I feel like something's gotta be up with that.
You think
maybe the dad was also a criminal of some kind, and that kind of led to them thinking, oh, this is what we have to do. But
maybe Diego had like a grandkid named Gio Brando, and then Gio Brando was the father, and then he made Jodio. There you go. There you go.
Cool, G. Also, your vanilla ice call was fire.
Oh, you like that?
Yeah, that was awesome because
Yeah.
the ice cream.
Yep.
It's like, oh, that's so
Yeah,
perfect.
so I was trying to find a way to make the Vanilla Ice connection with his stand because he's almost absorbing stuff into him. So like if it's
black hole.
If it's like a black hole, like a caribou type, like absorption, like storage stand, that could be it. That could be the Vanilla Ice connection. That's cool stuff.
I love that.
Do you have any?
That was awesome.
Thank you, bro. Yeah, so this is the thing, and this is why I'm very appreciative of what's been happening with part
Jodio.
9 so far in general, which is the parallels that are happening thus far have not been with the stand fights. And I know that we haven't had really a stand fight yet to judge that based off of, but a lot of these are just based on the events that are happening or like personalities of a character being like flipped on their head compared to like the original universe and the alternate universe. Like take Jodio and you have Giorno and you flip him on his head and you get Jodio. I like things like that compared to like the idea of taking an entire stand fight and just recreating that stand fight through a different mechanism and turning it into, you know, basically like a less interesting version, because in reality it's like you can't just repeat something and it works the same way the second time. It loses some of that impact. We've already experienced Highway Star. We've already experienced these stands. Superfly happened already. So like them being on the ski lift is wacky, but you know, like we've kind of done this. Like
Jodio works really well in my opinion because he's an inversion and not a parallel. I think an inversion is infinitely
you're right.
better because it makes you rethink the original character and see how they're different and maybe why they're different as well.
Yeah.
And I think it's especially interesting because Giorno was influenced by a mafia like father figure, while these people are influenced by a mother figure they have to take care of. You know what I mean? There's so much here, man.
God, man.
There's so much here, man.
Yeah, no.
So
First off, you're totally right on the inversion thing. I just want to correct my previous statements of saying parallels. They are an inversion, and I think that's what makes it cool. And yes, the father and mother thing, that's such a cook. I didn't even realize that. And the mother character is kind of mysterious, too. She's very faceless right now. Like, we don't know anything about this mother character aside from that they all love her and protect her and take care of her. And you know what's funny? Is that now that you bring this up, this truly is an inversion of Giorno's past with the father figure, because what happened with Giorno is that the father figure was being hunted by other mafia members, and then Giorno had to protect him, and then out of protecting him, he ended up kind of giving Giorno the respect, and then everyone was protecting Giorno because he had that mafia father figure looking after him for his childhood, right? So in that same respect, we have the inversion now with Mother, where everyone's looking after Mother and taking care of Mother. She's not looking after them. And they're entering the world of crime to do so, as opposed to the inversion with Giorno. That's like so perfect. And I didn't even realize that until our discussion. So if this is not a shining example, I mean, look, the passion that Kev has for the series has come through. I'm fucking talking his ear off probably right now, and he's managed to spit more gold nuggets about this chapter than I could come up with over the last hour and a half of reading it. Excellent stuff. Tell me more, man. Tell me what you're hoping next chapter is gonna be like. What do you think is gonna go down next chapter? What are your hopes and predictions?
So I have some other ideas off rip, right? So first off, I think the Paco rock human, I think that's a pretty solid building block if there's anything there. Basically, the second I saw it chiseled like a rock, I was like, please no. Like, not like a please no, like I don't want rock humans back because they are kind of cool.
Yeah.
But still, like, I'm like, okay, this might be where this is going. Let's keep that little pin in it. What I think is really interesting is the fact that the thing that they're getting from a Japanese person, which I think furthers the Higashikata stuff, is a diamond, you know, and diamond is unbreakable, is from Morio.
Right.
It's like,
right.
A diamond, right? But I think this might be even crazier, right? This might be even crazier. This is, I think, like a real tinfoil ass theory, right? So the rock humans are meant to be the parallels to the Pillarmen.
Yes.
Right? Part 2. And part 2 has the red stone. And this is the blue diamond, right? What if that's something? What if it's some type of really important diamond that's more than what meets the eye? You know what I mean?
Okay. So for me, I've always connected the stone of Aja to the Rokakaka, because the Rokakaka allows you to evolve different parts and you know, improve parts of yourself in the same way that the Aja kind of like allowed cars to become the peak of evolution.
Yeah.
And since the rock humans were introduced with 8, I figured, you know, that's the parallel being made. The diamond could be. I feel like the diamond is just going to be a short MacGuffin that we toss to the side.
And then the Rokaka.
The Rokaka comes in, and that's the Aja. That's the redstone of Aja for the part yet again. Because this clearly seems to be something Araki wants to like hone in on, right? And that could be...
instead of some measly coke, imagine you pull out this little fruit right here. They're gonna go crazy for this. You know, this is the new hustle.
So they go to the house to steal the diamond, and they end up somehow leaving with the fruit. And then that causes a whole bunch of problems.
Well, new stuff, you know? They're like, oh, what's this? What's this new thing we stumbled across?
What's this fruit here?
You know who's probably going to take it? It's not even going to be intentional. The hustle, he loves to steal stuff.
He's just going to take it.
It's like his armpit or something. It'll be like, guys, I found this.
So they're going to get the diamond. It's probably going to go off without a hitch or something. Or maybe there's some issue. Maybe they encounter Yasuno, they run away, they escape her, and then they deliver the diamond. Then it's like, oh, I also found the fruit. I also found this fruit. I just decided to take it. It looked interesting. That's cool. That's a perfect sequence of events.
I wanted to eat it or something. Which would be a cool parallel if Paco is a rock human and he's the one who steals the Rokaka. That I think would also be especially interesting because their whole idea was, the Rokaka, you know? And this is I think is key. Okay. This is key right here, right? So this is my biggest theory, I would say, for the part, is that this part was always going to lead to the Joestar mansion returning to the story. And now, like, at first I thought, they're going to England, right? That's what I thought, because it's a journey thing, right? But that was when there was like a report like years ago when Araki was in JOJOLian time, and he was saying, I really wanted to visit Scotland or England for this story because I love the loneliness of the setting, right? But now we're in Hawaii, and I'm thinking, you know what Hawaii reminds me of? Colonialism, you know? And you know who does colonialism better than any other country? England. And you know who's from England? The Joestars, right?
Well,
so
to push back on the England part, in this alternate universe,
I know
it's America. So the Joestar family is American in this alternate universe, which makes even more sense with the Hawaii colonialism.
Exactly.
Because Americans did it. So that would actually make a lot of sense in that in that respect. Yeah.
So here's what I'm thinking, right? Here's how this is all going to pan out. And this is not my theory. This part right here, this is from someone I got in my comments. And he brought up a really cool point. And that's that Steel Ball Run has a sort of fixation with bones, you know, the holy corpse and all that stuff. And JOJOLian has a fixation on flesh.
Yes.
And sort of another thing that makes you being human.
Yes.
Now this part could be a fixation on blood, which I think already has been really focused on. We have a sibling to the main Joestar in our main cast. The mom is key to the character. The dad seems to be really important. Could this be a blood thing? Could this lead all the way back to phantom blood, right? And does that mean that Jodio could make the Joestar mansion, therefore being a complete full circle story? You see,
so you're telling me he's going to become so rich that he makes the Joestar mansion at the end?
Mansion. Yes.
Yo, if that happens, I'm in. You sold me. I don't care what. I will fucking love part 8. If that's what the purpose of it was to build up to this part 9 with that ending where he becomes rich and he builds the Joestar mansion and it's all about bloodlines and it ties back into Phantom Blood and then some stand like universe fucking tying stand or some, I don't know, something's gonna have to happen that wraps up everything in a grand fashion. But if that's what it was all for, I'm with it, bro. I'm with it. I like that idea. I like that idea a lot.
I think Araki's a very full circle type of dude.
Yeah, he is. Absolutely.
He's really trying to, like with parts 1 to 6, obviously, he brings Dio back. He brings all this stuff back. The lineage, everything is like fixated on this idea specifically.
Ironically, because everyone says Araki forgot for stuff, but like he actually does bring back a lot of things. Like
a lot of stuff comes back.
Yeah.
Like I think if Araki is really doing this full circle storyline with the Joestar Mansion at the end, I think that has to be it. Because the whole story starts in the Joestar Mansion. And Dario and George, you know, that's where the whole story begins, on a rocky cliffside. That sounds but
No,
let's say, you know, we actually see the Joestar Mansion get built along some kind of weird shoreline that's rocky and jagged on Hawaii, you know, and we get a rock.
What if the villain is a rock human and then they get defeated at the end of the part, and then all that's left of them is a stone face of their body, and then they take the mask and put it in the mansion, and it gets put in the mansion.
No. and Jodio's that type of guy, bro. If he kills someone, he's like, "Oh, look, it's my trophy." It's like that. I feel like that's so him.
Yo,
he's a savage like that.
I'm down, man. I'm down. And then and then this universe ends with the JoJo being a combination of Dio and JoJo, and basically having a good life and not starting this whole sequence of 9 parts of fucking craziness, of hatred. The cycle ends, and then he just gets to live as a rich person in a mansion forever and just like ball out. I love that. Actually,
I'm not doing drugs. I'm not dealing with these drugs anymore. What is this? Sometimes he's like this, and sometimes he's like this. You know?
Harrods asked, if this part is a mix of part 5 and part 6, does that mean we'll be seeing a mix of Diavolo and Pucci?
I've been seeing some great fan art, and some people have. I'll try and find the image actually, but it's like a drawing of like a nun with like sort of Diavolo-esque hair. It's cool. I like the idea.
Is that the mother stuff?
No. It's not related to the mom at all. It's just like a fun fan character that.
No, but I'm saying that nuns are referred to as sisters, and then you have priests who are the fathers. But in this case, we have brothers and mother. Instead of sisters and fathers, with Pucci, we have brothers and mother.
Oh,
isn't that interesting?
That is interesting.
And there's a whole crime organization backing it. So we have the combination of this religious symbolism with the crime elements of Diavolo.
Yeah, the mom is seen as a very holy looking like figure as well. Like the first panel, the mom, she's like glistening and like light, and, like, basking in it. Oh.
Who do you think is going to be your favorite of the characters we've met by the end of the part? Do you think there's anyone that's going to kind of become like a sleeper pick or like a favorite later that you just haven't been sold fully on yet? Or because for me, I'll tell you right now, it's Paco. I think Paco's going to he's going to be my bro. That's my boy.
Gonna be so fire.
Yes.
Because I'm like, I already like Jodio and Dragona. I feel like I already like them. But Paco's like kind of just like there. But I'm like, oh, he has potential. You know, especially if this like, again, the Vanilla Ice thing. If that's real, oh my god, like that.
Yeah.
The rock human. If he's a rock human, like, there's so much there already to speculate on.
Yeah, I am very much expecting big things out of Paco. I just feel like he's my kind of guy. He feels like the Mista of like the crew or something. I feel like he's gonna be like that guy who's like funny, but he's not like a dumbass. He's just kind of like, he's like the, I don't know, he's kind of like the goofball, but also like a cool member of the group. I like him. I have a lot of hope for Paco specifically. Dragona feels like almost like a non-character kind of at this point. Like I'm waiting for Dragona to kind of like step up to the plate. We saw Jodio with his like very strong personality. He gave many examples of that this chapter. But Dragona, I kind of want to see more of. I hope next chapter gives us more of Dragona, and because we got a lot of focus on Jodio this time. So if they're kind of being pushed as a duo or a pair this time as siblings, maybe I would hope that the next chapter kind of places more emphasis on Dragona instead.
Yeah, I hope they have sort of a cool like older sibling, younger sibling dynamic, especially. I feel like JoJo has never done that, so I'm really excited to see where that goes, especially.
Yeah, that's a good point. I could see Araki creating the context necessary to make these stands shine. And November Rain is particularly interesting. Yeah, I want to see the rules, like how the stand works. I want to get the full explanation of that, because far,
I think that was pretty ballsy to do. Just show the stands and don't not explain them at all.
That is ballsy.
That was awesome.
That's a good point. Yeah.
Just like, bro.
He did that in part 8, kind of, right at the beginning with Joshu versus Josuke.
Oh, yeah, Nut King Kong.
Yeah, he kind of did that, but like now he's really going all out with like, I'm just gonna show you what they are, and you're not getting no explanation. November Rain for the yeah, like wait a month, bro. Like the protagonist stand being as alien looking as it is to give no explanation for that is like quite the cliffhanger to leave people on.